Now on 4 News Now, why educators are pushing for a change in school rules statewide and how it could impact the students in your life.
And average temperatures today with a windy afternoon, but the summer sizzle is on the way for Hoop Fest weekend. I'll have your forecast.
And Hoop Fest generally draws massive crowds of people looking to enjoy the action, but what do businesses think of the annual event? We checked in to hear their thoughts. You're watching 4 News Now Special Edition. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Derek Dice. We're on early once again because the NBA draft is coming up in just an hour from now.
I'm Kirsten O'Connor. We're going to have another special edition newscast right around 8:30 after the NBA draft.
All right, changes are coming to the guidelines your child needs to follow in the classroom. And while some say this is needed to clear up confusion, others are warning of detrimental long-term impacts.
Alexandra Cohen-Yards joins us in studio now with what's prompting this move.
Kirsten, Derek, the reasoning behind these changes dates back to before the pandemic, when Washington adopted new disciplinary guidelines. Now, I want you to take a look at this graph right behind me. It shows the percentage of kids who have been asked to leave the classroom because of their behavior in the Spokane School District. Now, here are those numbers for the Central Valley School District. Both show similar trends, starting with just around 5% of students in 2018 to 2019, and then taking a dip during the pandemic. However, when students returned, those numbers rose again. This marked the first time teachers could enforce those 2019 rules, although doing so was a challenge. How should a teacher handle a child disrupting their classroom? This is a highly debated question, and while there isn't yet a universal answer, revised guidelines from the Washington Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction aims to provide a clearer direction.
We aligned the definitions. We tried to make it clearer in the context because things were just kind of all over the place in the former rules.
Michaela Miller is the Deputy Superintendent for OSPI, a department that has been working on revising these guidelines for a year and a half after noticing troubles for teachers in the post-pandemic world.
When I think about the blip that COVID caused within discipline, most of it is just we didn't see it. We were not dealing with it in a school setting.
From here came emergency student discipline rules, which aim to give clearer definitions of how schools should address discipline. However, not everyone is on board.
We're deeply concerned and worried about the impacts on students furthest away from educational opportunities.
That is Eric Holsifer with the League of Education Voters Foundation, an organization that strongly opposes these changes, as they fear this will have a disproportionate impact on students of color.
So there needs to be an equal amount of time and access given to those communities.
OSPI sets out the framework for the state. Our local school districts also hold authority over this. They are the ones who ultimately deliberate what student codes of conduct look like. You can read the full list of changes OSPI is making on our website at KXLY.com. The revised rules will go into effect on July 11th. In studio tonight, Alexandra Cohen-Yards, 4 News Now.
All right, Alexandra, thank you. Now to our first alert forecast. Definitely feeling warmer outside again.
Yep, Jason Valentine and for Chris Crocker once again. And Jason, you've been telling us we're going to start heating up as we head into Hoop Fest weekend.
Yeah, we're going to actually cool down just a bit for Thursday and Friday, but my goodness, the heat will be on this weekend. So let's take a look outside. A beautiful evening, and or we're about to get to evening. We're seeing winds kicking up as well. Those will slow down as soon as the sun goes down. 80 degrees right now. That's about 5 degrees above our average. Just a beautiful day. And hey, all of this wind, it has moved to a northerly easterly wind that has blown out much of the smoke. So it's kind of moved over into the biggest part of western Montana and a little bit of eastern Idaho. So that is good news, though. Smoke will be coming back here in the next couple of days. So winds right now, we expected this gust in the 20-mile-per-hour range. Spokane looking at 28-mile-per-hour gusts right now, 22 for Spokane Valley, 23 for Coeur d'Alene. So these are going to be slowing down as we get to our overnight period. Tomorrow, though, we expect winds to return at around 20-mile-per-hour gusts possible. So with all of this wind, the air quality has very much improved throughout our regions. We're going to keep a close eye on this as, yes, smoke will be returning as we move into the next couple of days. And unfortunately, we're not seeing much shower activity expected. We do need it since next week is 4th of July. It's going to be dry, so hopefully we won't have any new wildfires in our evening planner, it's going to be beautiful and warm, but the summer heat's on the way. I'll have your forecast coming right up.
All right, Jason, thank you. School's out. Kids are going to be packing the parks, having fun during their summer breaks.
So you'll need to drop your speed by 15 miles per hour at 6 of Spokane's parks with new speed limits now in place. Jordan Smith has the story.
Well, the last thing you want to worry about when you bring the kids to the park here is drivers speeding down the road next to it, creating an unsafe situation. So the city has put up several seasonal 20-mile-an-hour signs around 6 of Spokane's parks to try to get drivers to slow down.
Slow down, Speed Racer. 35 no longer flies in these parks, at least for the summer. The city has installed seasonal 20-mile-per-hour signs in A.M. Cannon, Chief Gary, Comstock, Hayes, Lincoln, and Mission Parks. Leadfoot drivers, these new signs are for you, just for the summer, so kids can sink threes and enjoy themselves at the park without the worry of an erratic neighborhood driver, which these kids say they see a lot of.
Yeah. Kind of. But used to chaotic cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So slow it down and stay safe on the roads. Speedsters will be met with a hefty ticket. In Spokane, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
I'm going to remember that. Well, like many of you, some of us have received a new wave of scam texts in the newsroom.
Yeah, I got one this afternoon. Many of these messages are coming from phone numbers pretending to be state agencies that don't actually exist. Check this one out. It claims to be from the Washington Department of Motor Vehicles. This is the one I got today, saying we're facing a final warning or there will be consequences. The problem? There's actually no Washington DMV. In Washington, it's called the Department of Licensing. We talked to the DOT today, which is warning drivers about these scam texts.
State agencies, just as a collective, again, will never call or text for any sort of payment. We're getting a lot of calls, all across the state, because it is happening not only locally in Spokane, Seattle, throughout the Inland Northwest, but other states are receiving the same thing.
Now, another key sign of a scam text is the phone number, often from outside the U.S. or from unknown email accounts. If you do end up clicking on a link sent in those messages, check the URL. Legitimate government websites will always end with .gov. All right, Hoop Fest 2025 is now just a couple of days or a few days away, and if you've been downtown lately, you've probably noticed the setup process is already underway.
It's not just the setup. Local businesses are also gearing up for one of the busiest weekends of the year. Over at O'Doherty's, a manager says the beer and liquor is pouring from open to close all weekend long. Sitting center stage, the Irish Grill has a spot for fans to eat, drink, and watch the games. They staff up and order heavy in preparation for that large crowd that they're expecting. A couple blocks down, Madeline's Cafe is already seeing more business there. The owner says they see constant lines out the door during Hoop Fest, so they get creative to streamline the process.
For 2 days, we put a big table outside, and we serve things like fruit cups and yogurt cups to go outside, our pastries, popsicles, more beverages. That way, if folks just want something quick, they can grab it out there and not even have to come inside.
Not all businesses see a boost during Hoop Fest. We'll show you how some shops have to adjust due to less foot traffic during the big event tonight in a special edition of 4 News Now after the NBA draft. Well, you may be familiar with upcycling clothing, but have you considered upcycling school supplies?
You could donate your used or unwanted school supplies this summer instead of throwing them away. In a new program, the City of Spokane, Spokane County, and Art Salvage are hosting a first ever school cycle drive. You can drop off supplies at any Spokane library or at Art Salvage, which will refurbish the donations for students next school year.
We know that there's a lot of folks that need art supplies, school supplies, but also what we see at a Creative Reuse Center is that there's a lot of stuff out there that people have things sitting around that they're just not using anymore. So if we can pull those together and really get them to the folks that need them, that is going to help our community.
Collected materials will be sorted, processed, and packaged by volunteers and then distributed to organizations, groups, and individuals around Spokane at no cost. This program hopes to expand to the rest of the county in the years to come. All right, still ahead on this special edition of 4 News Now, opinions are shifting on the typical 9 to 5.
With some age groups checking out entirely. We'll tell you who's the most likely to be impacted by the trend of apathy coming up.
And a major shift to the FBI's priorities, announcing today it's shifting its focus from immigration to counterterrorism. We'll explain why coming up.
And the fallout continues in the back and forth between Israel and Iran, why President Donald Trump is touting a victory after Monday's strikes. Coming up next.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now's Get Outside Guide is brought to you by Click It RV.
From your head and shoulders, down to your toes, and everywhere in between. Kootenai Health provides advanced medicine right where you need it, right here in North Idaho.
At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
A penny saved is a lifetime earned. Numerica Credit Union. Money where it matters.
What's for lunch this summer? For kids who rely on school meal programs, the answer is not enough. Donate to the What's for Lunch food drive at Yolks locations throughout June to make sure all our kids get enough to eat this summer.
Celebrate the 4th with big savings this week at Walker's. Get store-wide markdowns and huge clearance deals. Or get it now and pay over time with no interest financing for up to 5 years. This week at Walker's.
We have all your SUV options here at Post Falls Volkswagen. Choose the SUV with easy-to-use technology that best meets your needs and budget. There are so many choices, so take as many test drives as you want, and our knowledgeable staff will assist you with all the information you need.
The redesigned 2025 Tiguan just arrived and is turning heads. Smarter, sleeker, and more stylish than anything on the road.
Find SUV options at Post Falls Volkswagen, the home of 0000.
For 30 years, Renewal by Andersen has replaced worn-out and difficult-to-use windows and doors. Our focus on quality and performance has helped us install over 10 million windows. Every window and door custom-built with our exclusive Vibrex material and backed by the nation's best warranty. Renewal by Andersen is your best choice for window and door replacements. Call now for big savings during our 30th anniversary sales event. It's our biggest event of the year with exclusive savings on our most energy-efficient windows and doors. Hurry, offer ends soon. Renewal by Andersen, 30 years of craft, care, and gratitude.
Triathletes, if your body reminds you that you are not, in fact, made out of iron, know that Kootenai Health is here for every stroke, pedal, and step of your journey. Find your specialist at kh.org.
President Donald Trump says the U.S. blew up Iran's nuclear program, quote, to kingdom come.
Trump defending his attack after sources tell ABC News the strike only set back Iran's nuclear program by a few months. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington, D.C.
President Trump today defending the effectiveness of his attack against Iran's nuclear facilities.
We destroyed the nuclear. In other words, it's destroyed. I said, Iran will not have nuclear. Well, we blew it up. It's blown up. To kingdom come.
It comes as sources tell ABC News a preliminary Pentagon report indicates at least 2 of Iran's nuclear facilities in the attack were not destroyed, and Iran's nuclear program was only set back by a few months. The classified preliminary report from the Defense Intelligence Agency and U.S. Central Command indicates Iran's centrifuges remain intact. The bombing sealed off at least 2 of Iran's nuclear facilities' entrances, but they did not destroy their underground structures. One source familiar with the initial intelligence says much of the enriched uranium was not destroyed because it was moved before the U.S. struck. Trump disputing that.
We hit them so hard and so fast they didn't get to move.
The president releasing new information about Iran's attack on the U.S. military base in Qatar.
They were very nice. They gave us warning. They said, we're going to shoot him. Is 1 o'clock okay? They said, it's fine. And everybody was emptied off the base.
Meanwhile, NATO Secretary General defending Trump after the president said this.
We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what they're doing.
Mark Rutte referring to Trump as daddy.
Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while you have to use a certain word.
Iran's foreign ministry now says their nuclear facilities were badly damaged. It appears the ceasefire between Israel and Iran is holding. President Trump says he believes his attack ended the war. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Well, the Trump administration is planning to fast-track the deportation of potentially hundreds of thousands of migrants here in the U.S. According to two sources, the administration would dismiss the migrants' asylum claims and then move to immediately deport them. The people impacted are those who entered the U.S. unlawfully and later applied for asylum. They would be removed without a hearing before an immigration judge, circumventing a long-standing step of the asylum-seeking process. The move is the latest White House effort to bar migrants from receiving protections in the U.S. as federal authorities face increasing pressure to meet immigration arrest goals.
Well, the FBI is now shifting agents away from deportations and back to counterterrorism in the wake of the airstrikes in Iran. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details.
This morning, the FBI is preparing to reassign thousands of agents away from immigration enforcement to focus instead on counterterrorism and cyber threats. Sources say the move was accelerated by U.S. strikes on Iran. It comes as federal officials announced the arrest of 11 Iranian nationals in the U.S., some with criminal records or suspected terror ties. Homeland Security says one of those men, Rivar Karimi, was carrying an Iranian Army ID card at the time of his arrest in Alabama.
It is mandatory to serve at least 2 years. I think it is, maybe 3. In their country.
Karimi's wife, who's 7 months pregnant, says her husband has no criminal history. She says he entered on a K-1 visa intended for foreign nationals who are engaged to American citizens. But ICE officers said they never completed the legal process to adjust his status after they were married. For now, Karimi remains in ICE custody pending removal proceedings.
I just want to see him thrive and build the life that he has dreamed of having. And I just pray that the immigration judge sees that and gives him the opportunity to be who he dreams of being.
Meanwhile, a massive immigration detention center is set to open in Florida, deep in the Everglades, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. The facility will eventually hold 5,000 undocumented migrants. Critics are raising concern about the environmental impact, but Florida's Attorney General highlighted the benefits of the isolated location.
If people get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Well, folks, we've had a pretty lovely Thursday so far, despite being a little bit breezy, but the smoke is out of the way. But the heat is going to be on, especially as we get into the weekend, and even more next week as we enter July. Can you believe it? All of your first alert weather forecast, that is next on this special edition of 4 News Now.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Need a new garage door?
Sorry.
We know your garage door is more than just a door. It's also curb appeal and security. That's why our expertly trained technicians bring precision to every install. Precision Garage Door Service. Fast, reliable, and a great investment for your home. Give us a call today.
Most people who have lived through an opioid overdose have something in common. They didn't do it alone. Someone was there when they OD'd. Someone had naloxone. Someone called for help. So, if you use opioids like fentanyl, know who your someone is. Use with them when you can. Have naloxone with you. And make sure your someone is ready to help you if you need it. Just like you would for them.
I'm Chad Young from theeasyhomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With theeasyhomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Celebrate the 4th with big savings right now at all Walker's Furniture locations. It's the perfect time to upgrade for less with store-wide markdowns and huge clearance deals. Or get it now and pay for it over time with no money down and no interest financing for up to 5 years. No need to wait. Bring home comfort for less and get that Serta or Beauty Rest mattress you've been wanting, because these 4th of July savings are too big to miss. This week at Walker's, where quality just costs less.
Comfort and peace. When a loved one is in need of end-of-life care, it's more than care. It's warmth and dignity in the face of advanced illness. Courage binds us all. The courage in facing a terminal illness together. Our care team have dedicated their lives to alleviating pain, discomfort, and providing licensed around-the-clock medical attention. We are Hospice of North Idaho, and we are honored to care for your loved one.
4 News Now is brought to you by Shriners Children's Hospitals.
Well, it's going to be hot this weekend. We know that much.
Ooh, yeah, climbing into the 90s on Sunday only, though, right?
You know, maybe even upper 80s on Sunday, but the 90s are definite for next week. So heat, again, we've been saying it all week. Hoop Fest, get ready for the sunscreen, maybe a hat and hydration plan. But a beautiful day so far. We are going to be what we're going to be for, looks like, Hoop Fest Saturday, which is 80 degrees, except we're going to see much more sunshine. Cloud cover is starting to come back into the Tri-City, the Spokane area slowly. In the Coeur d'Alene region, we're at 82 and a lot of sunshine there. And again, we're seeing some winds. Winds are kicking up. So breezy midweek. We're staying nice and warm. So we're just a little bit above our average for this time of year. Now more breeze tomorrow, a little bit off of what we saw today. We're seeing gusts in the 20-mile-per-hour range. So I'm talking upper 20s. We should be in the lower 20s to upper teens for our gusts tomorrow afternoon. And the heat is on soon. So here's our winds. Pullman, you're in the party at 24-mile-per-hour gusts. So we're in the 20-mile-per-hour gusts throughout all of our areas. So breezy conditions. These should die down by the time the sun goes down. We should have a pretty calm overnight period, but then we'll see those winds pick back up tomorrow afternoon, so be ready for that. So as we head into tomorrow, 77, so we're going to be right around our average for this time of year. Still hot outside and a bit humid, but we hit the heat as we get to Saturday, just like we're seeing today, and then, whoo, look at that, 87 by Sunday, and those mid-90s as we get into at least the beginning part of our next work week. So get ready for things to be very, very blazing as we get into next week. And even following that, we do expect to see above average to well above average temperatures for the week following. And that includes July 4th. So we are hoping that there is no winds for our July 4th week. Next week, with all the fireworks going on, it is going to be dry and hot. And we don't need wind to amp up those fire dangers. So on our radar right now, again, seeing those clouds coming back into the Inland Empire. Quite a bit of thunder and lightning up to the north in Canada. We just cannot seem to be on any of the trails for the precipitation. As you can see, more precipitation going into the western part of Montana. Our region is just seeing a little bit of cloud coverage for your commute tomorrow. And same story, again, a little bit of shower activity surrounding us, but nothing coming our way. Should be nice, and we're going to start to see much more clearing as we get into Friday and into our weekend. Current temperatures, lower 80s for Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, 89 for Lewiston, our hotspot with the Tri-Cities. A bit of a change from yesterday, a little bit cooler. We're going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow and Friday, and then we're going to start to accelerate quite quickly. A quick look at your Thursday, looking pretty nice to start, and then building cloud coverage with those winds in the afternoon. Highs again right at our average, 75. So here's our lovely 7-day forecast. Look at Hoop Fest weekend, plenty of sunshine. Unfettered sunshine continues with all of that heat. So if you have some plants outside that don't like the extreme heat and sun, you may want to protect those over the weekend. But get ready for the heat to be on very soon, starting with Sunday Hoop Fest weekend.
Yeah, wow. All right, thank you, Jason. Well, you're watching a special edition of 4 News Now. The future of city pools is optimistic.
With proposed funding to keep the facilities free to the public, we hear from pool goers to get their thoughts on the changes coming up.
And many people may unconsciously think of younger people when imagining Pride. Why the event is just as important to seniors coming up.
And why Gen Z is overwhelmingly giving up on the traditional job market. That's next, right after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
It's the big biggest trade-in event in America this week at both Cal locations and the Cal Auto Credit Store on Division.
This is your chance to trade in anything, and I mean anything. Boats, snowmobiles, motorbikes, trailers. Whether it runs or not, we're cleaning up America.
Making it the perfect time to upgrade your old ride to something better. Plus, delaying payments until September 1st with top dollar for your trade-ins. During Cal's 4th of July Great Trade-In event.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. Could they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
I'm a second grade teacher at Franklin Elementary with Spokane Public Schools. When we took our field trip to Manitou Park, STA was super helpful in planning and organizing, emailing, reaching out, answering my questions. The kids love riding the bus. The riding the bus was a field trip in itself. It really is part of that in real life experience. I had a parent thank us that we were helping and teaching their kids how to ride the bus at a young age so that when they go to do it themselves when they're older, they already know how. The STA partnership has been an awesome collaborative relationship.
Welcome to Avanta Dental, where we treat you like family because you deserve the best.
At Avanta Dental, we pride ourselves on providing top-notch care.
With our team of expert dentists and truly state-of-the-art technology, it's no wonder why we're the highest-rated office in Washington State. Avanta Dental, where your smile is our priority. Book your appointment today. Call us today at 425-0088 or come visit us in Liberty Lake.
One of the most iconic bands in rock history, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, bring the Rock Party to the Coeur d'Alene Casino live Thursday, July 31st. Visit the Coeur d'Alene Casino box office or cdacasino.com for tickets.
Winning is just the beginning.
4 News Now brings you an aerial postcard from Bayview, Idaho.
Hi, welcome back. There is growing frustration in the American workplace where things are changing.
Yeah, the 9-to-5 job may be a thing of the past. And new research shows younger people are not so interested anymore in climbing the corporate ladder. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the story.
This morning, new data shows the traditional 9-to-5 may be headed for retirement. Sorry, Dolly. A new report shows more than half of American workers now believe the idea of a stable, full-time job is a myth, including 72% of Gen Z workers.
I don't like my job, and I don't think I'm going to go anymore.
More than 40% of those polled say they now have side hustles or second jobs to meet their financial needs. And while moving up the corporate ladder helps pay the bills, fewer workers these days are interested in taking leadership roles. More than 3/4 of workers surveyed now say burnout and office politics make upper management undesirable. Behind those numbers is a bigger problem.
What we really identified was a trio of negative trends. First was pessimism, the idea about how do people feel about their money situation, their job situation, about the country.
That kind of pessimism has consequences.
Those 3 trends really manifest not just as the cranky coworker who might be mouthing off, but they have real business impacts.
Researchers found pessimism on the job is linked to a 60% drop in productivity.
Doubles the risk of burnout. It more than doubles the risk of generalized anxiety disorder. It almost doubles the risk of productivity impairment.
And while that lack of interest in getting ahead at the office is not limited to one type of worker, it's younger employees feeling it the most.
Over 60% of workers 18 to 29 showed the highest level of disconnects.
Artificial intelligence is another factor, with predictions that AI could replace low-level, white-collar jobs, putting the corporate ladder out of reach for more people. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Well, the month of May saw a decline in new home sales. The Census Bureau reported 623,000 home sales last month. That's a significant drop from April's total and from what economists had estimated. High prices and mortgage rates close to 7% continue to price some would-be home buyers out of the market.
Well, as Pride celebrations continue around the country, one often overlooked sector of the community is seniors.
And while aging comes with a wide range of concerns, both financial and physical, older LGBTQ+ people have specific challenges. Karen Kafer shares what advocates say medical professionals can do to improve care.
It's a rapidly growing population with a unique set of challenges.
There are over 3 million LGBTQ older adults in this country, and we're estimating that is probably going to grow to over 7 million by 2030.
According to the American Association of Retired Persons Dignity 2024 survey, the largest concern for older LGBTQ plus adults is social isolation, which could mean lacking the support they will need as they age.
The LGBTQ community is more likely to be single, less likely to have children, and some of those social connections that we would assume from a family or biological connection aren't there.
The survey also found a number of queer adults feel vulnerable in healthcare spaces, particularly trans and non-binary people, with a third saying their quality of care has been compromised.
Anytime you find a new doctor, you have to come out again. And it's a challenge sometimes to find good healthcare professionals who understand all the needs of the community.
Ernesto Finales with the nonprofit advocacy group SAGE says medical providers should take time to understand where these patients are coming from.
I think part of that is really connecting with the community and making sure that their voices are elevated.
And for members of the community looking to take control of their future,
it really is a matter of planning, not only in terms of caregiving and who is able to care for you as you age, but also making those financial decisions so that you're prepared to make the decisions that you want.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
All right, up next on this special edition of 4 News Now.
A Spokane group is giving single mothers a safe place to raise their babies. How Covenant Homes matches people with what will be their forever home.
And a city push to keep pools free for everyone to enjoy is gaining traction. That's up next.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
The 4th of July mattress savings are on now at all Walker's Furniture and Mattress stores.
And that means big discounts on your favorite brands, like Serta's iComfort for cooler, deeper sleep, and Beautyrest world-class mattresses to experience first-class sleep every night. Plus, get it now and pay over time with no money down, no minimum purchase, and no interest financing for up to 5 years. So you can wake up refreshed on a mattress that helps you sleep better with savings worth celebrating this week at Walker's.
If your windows, entry door, or patio doors haven't been checked in years, they could be costing you, especially as the weather warms up. Schedule a complimentary consultation from Renewal by Andersen. It's a simple and informative visit that gives you real insight. We'll take a look at your current windows and doors, assess the glass and frame condition, and check for drafts. We can also use a heat lamp test to identify exactly where energy might be escaping. You'll get thoughtful recommendations from our experts based on your needs, goals, and budget. And with our virtual design tool, you can even preview new styles right in your space. Improve your home's comfort, boost efficiency, and refresh your curb appeal. It starts with a simple and free visit from Renewal by Andersen. Right now, we're offering amazing financing options for every budget. Schedule a complimentary consultation with us today.
Most chronic back problems are caused by compression from the disc becoming thinner and thinner and thinner as we get older. All we have to do is put the patient on the table and decompress them by slowly and easily bringing water, nutrients, and oxygen back into the disc so it heals itself stronger than it was before. These treatments are so gentle, patients usually fall asleep. They don't have to go through the shots, the surgeries, all the physical therapy, or painful invasive procedures or drugs. They fall asleep, they wake up, and they feel better. That's what this is all about. The absolute best thing is pick up the phone and call us today for a free consultation. If you have an MRI scan, we can look at it and tell if we can help you or not. We'll get you in right away. So if you're looking at any kind of serious procedure, you may be able to avoid that.
Disc Centers of America, a call to us can change your life.
Welcome back. Part of the Together Spokane levy, which would fund dozens of schools and parks projects, would go toward maintaining public pools.
Spokane Parks and Recreation says you can expect fewer pool closures for maintenance if the levy passes. Derek Strom spoke with people about what improvements they'd like to see.
Derek, Kirsten, all the people I talked to today say they would support a levy maintaining public pools like the one here at AM Cannon Park. They hope the Parks Department would consider expanding pool hours as well, and the Parks Department did say that's something they're considering. The Parks Department said the money from this levy would mainly go towards maintenance.
We need something for them to do, always.
Dozens of parents and kids come to A.M. Cannon Park for open swim as a way to cool down, have fun, and get outside during the summer. But the Spokane Parks and Recreation Department wants voters' help to prevent closures of the public pools in the city.
So what the Levy and the Together Spokane initiative would give us is additional dollars around deferred maintenance, whether that's mechanical, our pool decks, or our slides, to make sure that they're maintained properly.
Parks and Recreation Director Garrett Jones says they want to focus more on preventative maintenance if the levy passes. He says a lot of the play structures are old enough to need ongoing maintenance or they need to be replaced. Right now, maintenance on any of the pool equipment can result in closures, which can take days depending on the project.
We have issues with our pool heaters and pumps and pipes and everything. You know, it's a little bit old, and so some of those things are starting to fail across the system in places.
All the public pools in Spokane are completely free to the public with a splash pass, and that's something Spokane Parks says it wants to continue. The department says it would consider making cuts to other areas if the levy fails in order to keep the pools free. That's something that's important to the parents and kids that come here every summer.
I think it's really cool that it's free, especially in lower income neighborhoods where kids might not be able to afford it. They can come here and meet new friends and or stay out of trouble, you know.
Parks and Recreation Director Garrett Jones says any emergency maintenance at these pools can take away funding from other projects, but he says this funding from the levy could help them expand staffing at these parks as well if it passes. The Together Spokane levy will be on the November ballot. Live in Spokane, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
All right, let's check back in with Jason Valentine.
A.M. Cannon Park is one of my daughter, who's 4. My 2-year-old can't quite swim like that.
Favorite spots?
Favorite spot. That water playground is really cool.
I think next week will be their favorite spot as well with the heat. Pools are going to be perfect here in the next coming days. Good evening, everyone. I keep saying that. Good late afternoon, everyone. Hope you've had a wonderful Thursday. Geez, I'm going to start over again. Nice afternoon to you. Good Wednesday to you. 80 degrees right now in the Spokane region. We're just excited about the NFL. The NBA draft coming up. I can't get anything right. All right, here we go. Area smoke has moved over into Idaho and to western Montana. So good news. We're seeing winds mostly coming up from the south, kind of north easterly winds just blowing all the smoke out of the area. We do expect the smoke to return as we move on into the next couple of days. But for now, we're having a break. So look at these gusts. We were expecting afternoon gusts in the 20-mile-per-hour range, and we're sure getting it. Coeur d'Alene, not gusty just yet. These winds, though, will slow down as the sun goes down. So that is some good news, but we do expect these winds to continue to blow. Air quality has definitely improved for most of our regions, so very good. And again, we're going to keep a close eye on that as we get closer to that 4th of July. And moisture, we're just not seeing it coming anytime soon. Maybe a hint in the next 2 weeks, but nothing like we need. So, evening planner, we are looking partly cloudy as we move into our evening, and then as we move into our overnight period, more cloud coverage. Let me get you ready for that hot Hoop Fest weekend and those 90s next week. That's coming up.
All right, Jason, thank you. Covenant Homes is a local organization that helps vulnerable pregnant women become self-sufficient.
And now this organization wants to open a permanent house to give these women, in some cases experiencing homelessness, a place to call home. Madeline Mullen spoke with the organization today about the goals and what's putting it in jeopardy.
The beds are made, the cribs are set up, and the bathroom is fully stocked. Covenant Homes is ready to welcome 6 women into their new home.
We're about generational transformation.
Covenant Homes and Resources teaches women how to be moms, how to be financially responsible, and how to live and thrive on their own. At the forefront of this organization is Karen Fournier.
I was on the street for 20 years on drugs. So after I got clean at 35, I started Hearth Homes, which was housing for women and kids.
Fournier's new project aims to help pregnant women in need.
I didn't realize how many there were. Just single pregnant moms or women that either are in abuse, coming out of abuse, drug addicted, homeless.
Kristen Matthews is one of those women. 15 years ago, she got help from Fournier and Hearth Homes and knows how vital these resources are.
Learning that I, needed to support myself
needed to get a job and build a resume, and just the housing options of just being able to learn how to take care of myself and the kids, because those were just nothing I was ever taught.
Now, all of this is at risk. Without $20,000 more in funding, Covenant Homes will not be able to help women like Matthews. Help, Fournier says, is desperately needed.
So we've already had referrals. We've had at least one mom a week, and about a month ago we had 5 moms in a week call.
And while this money is needed by Friday, Fournier says regardless of what happens, she won't stop helping these women who need it most.
Believe in it so much that I can't stop. I won't stop.
In Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
Well, still to come here on 4 News Now, here's a weird connection.
Yeah, tick bites and meat allergies. Plus, the first meeting of the CDC since Robert F. Kennedy Jr. became the Health and Human Services Secretary. Why that meeting is already being scrutinized, coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Did you know that Spokane Hyperbaric Center uses oxygen to reduce pain, inflammation, and swelling?
I didn't know that.
Did you know that hyperbaric oxygen therapy promotes new blood vessel growth, fights infection, and releases more stem cells from your bone marrow?
I didn't know that.
Would you like to know if Spokane Hyperbaric Center is the right choice for you? Go to hyperbarichope.com to find out.
Spokane Hyperbaric Center gave us hope. And now you know.
You probably have a few things lying around collecting dust, right? Why not donate them to UGM thrift stores? Your donation isn't just stuff. It's hope for those facing homelessness and addiction. Some items go straight to our shelters to meet pressing needs. Others are carefully prepped, priced, and placed in our stores, awaiting a new, loving home. And every dollar provides meals, safe shelter, and other life-changing services. Whether you donate or shop at UGM thrift stores, you're making a difference right here in the Inland Northwest.
Dear sharp curves. Don't spin your wheels. With more all-wheel drive sedans than any other brand, you can bet your bottom dollar we're sharper than ever. 'Cause man, we got traction. Yours, Toyota Sedans.
Right now, you can lease a new 2025 Camry for just $309 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Talk about fireworks. Check out these offers during the 4th of July sale at Denver Mattress. Light up your sleep life with $100 off any Dr. Choice Original or $200 off any hybrid. Save $500 on the best-selling Tempur-Breeze and score a $300 gift. And check out the Summit for only $299.99. And best of all, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend, or get 60 months no interest and free shipping. It's the 4th of July sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. But they all just fade away. But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
4 News Now is brought to you by R&R RV.
Well, for the first time since Robert F. Kennedy Jr. became U.S. Health Secretary, a major CDC advisory committee is meeting today to decide who should be recommended vaccines and when. ABC's Zoreen Shah has the story.
At the CDC today, the nation's leading vaccine advisory body meeting to discuss and vote on several key immunization guidelines for the fall season. Among the agenda items, discussions on the safety of a well-tested ingredient found in some flu vaccines that has already been largely phased out, as well as recommendations surrounding RSV shots, particularly for children, including a program that provides shots to kids whose parents may not be able to afford them. RSV, a highly transmissible virus, can pose serious health risks, especially for young infants. The meeting happening as childhood vaccination rates have been declining in the U.S. and globally. The makeup of the influential panel changing dramatically in recent weeks after a massive overhaul by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., replacing all 17 former members with 8 he handpicked, including several who have voiced vaccine skepticism. Before today's meeting, the American Academy of Pediatrics slamming the committee, saying what they are doing is, quote, no longer a credible process, and they will continue publishing their own vaccine recommendations. Dr. Susan Monares has been nominated for the CDC director position. She faced a Senate confirmation hearing today, stating her stance on vaccines.
Vaccines absolutely save lives, and if I'm confirmed as CDC director, I commit to making sure that we continue to prioritize vaccine availability.
The panel will meet again tomorrow, where they're expected to take up discussions and a vote on the flu shot. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, you might be surprised to learn that tick bites and meat allergies can be connected. ABC's Melissa Adon has this story.
Imagine taking a bite of your favorite burger and then you suddenly have trouble breathing. Your lips swell up and maybe you even start vomiting. A new study suggests this is a reaction to red meat you shouldn't ignore. It could be symptoms of alpha-gal syndrome, an allergic reaction to a sugar found in red meat that's triggered by a tick bite. Cases have been rising steadily since 2010. Originally linked to Lone Star ticks, a new CDC research study now indicates that other tick species can also trigger alpha-gal. Researchers aren't sure why some tick bites lead to a meat allergy, but they warn that the response can sometimes be so severe it becomes life-threatening. If you suspect you might have gotten alpha-gal from a tick bite, stop eating red meat and contact your doctor immediately. There's no cure yet for this strange allergy, but avoiding trigger foods can keep it under control. Your best bet is prevention. Stay covered up, wear bug spray, and do a tick inspection after spending time outdoors. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Well, folks, a beautiful Thursday is ahead, and what do we see for the weekend? Hoop Fest is coming this weekend. It is going to be hot, but not as hot as next week. Let me get you and your family prepared for that. My first alert weather forecast. You're watching 4 News Now Special Edition. Stick with us.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
From your head and shoulders, down to your toes, and everywhere in between. Kootenai Health provides advanced medicine right where you need it, right here in North Idaho.
If you would like to improve your sleep for less, then right now is the perfect time to visit Walker's Furniture for their 4th of July savings event. Experience first-class sleep, plus get it now and pay over time with no interest financing for up to 5 years. This week at Walker's.
It's the biggest trade-in event in America today through July 7th at Cal.
This is your chance to trade in anything, and I mean anything.
So you can upgrade to a better set of wheels by trading in the old for something better at Cal.
Donating your vehicle to UGM Motors is easy.
When you drop off a vehicle, you have to sign a paper of, I donated this vehicle, and that was the hardest part. And I didn't have to fill it out. They filled it out for me and had me sign it.
Your car, truck, RV, or motorcycle will provide food, shelter, job training, and recovery services at Union Gospel Mission.
I think it's a great service to the community.
Call 509-327-HELP to schedule a free pickup today.
These are real people seeking solutions to real pain.
I have plantar fasciitis.
My feet, my knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports. Clinically proven. Significant pain relief in only 4 weeks.
I'm not feeling any pain. My heel, that's where I always feel it.
Pressure off your knees?
Yeah, actually. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Take back the life you love and book your personalized arch support fitting today.
92.9 CCU. CCU.
In a draft where every pick matters, college basketball's best lead the way. The future starts here. The NBA Draft, a 2-day event starting tonight on ESPN and ABC.
Triathletes, if your body reminds you that you are not, in fact, made out of iron, know that Kootenai Health is here for every stroke, pedal, and step of your journey. Find your specialist at kh.org.
4 News Now is brought to you by R&R RV.
All right, welcome back. A bit of a traffic congestion to tell you about. Eastbound I-90, just west of Division, is at a standstill right now with all 3 lanes blocked. You're seeing it actually looks like they're getting through in 1 lane right now. It is expected to take some time to clear up, though, so avoid that area if you can.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That always happens when you're in a rush.
Of course.
It does. And I'm just looking at the road there. It looks hot. You can almost tell when the road starts to bubble like that.
Yeah, when you start to see the waves. Yeah, and we're going to see more of those waves next week. So let's take a look outside. Just a beautiful day throughout our areas. 82 right now in Coeur d'Alene, 80 degrees in Spokane. And you're going to see a little bit cooler temperatures tomorrow, but still, you're going to feel the heat. This is the average temperature is around 75 for this time of year. So we're seeing that for the next couple of days, but then the heat will be on as we get to Sunday. So breezy midweek, staying nice and warm, a very comfortable day besides the breeze, and that breeze will return tomorrow, and the heat is on very, very soon. So current winds, we're seeing those gusts that we thought would happen in our afternoon, 20-mile-per-hour range almost across the board, save for Moses Lake. So get ready for more winds tomorrow. Now these winds will die down overnight or when the sun goes down, but by tomorrow afternoon we'll see more winds starting to kick in, probably around more the 20-mile-per-hour range, so a little less than we're seeing today. So winds will be back tomorrow. So for the next 2 days, tomorrow and Friday, we're going to be right around our average, which is 75 for this time of year. 80 by Friday, Hoop Fest Friday. Championship Sunday is going to be hot at 87. But look at this. We're going to be in the mid-90s in our next work week. That is 20 degrees above our average temperature. So please, if you're going to be outside, take precautions, hydrate, especially during Hoop Fest, and make sure you have some sunscreen on. And the following week, which will be, yes, July 4th week. We have a holiday weekend next weekend as July 4th is on a Friday, but we do expect to see those temperatures to be well above average yet again. So hot temperatures are sticking with us. On our radar, we are looking free and clear besides a little bit of cloud coverage coming back into the region. We should have a pretty cloudy overnight period. Forecast radar as we move into the next couple of days, we're looking pretty darn nice. Tomorrow morning for your commute, you'll see some cloud coverage just like we saw this morning. And again, we have a bits and bobs of showers surrounding us, but it doesn't look like any are coming our way. Your commute for Friday is almost here, everyone, is looking pretty good as well. So as we move into the evening hours, we're looking at just the lower 80s for Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, 81 for Colville, 89 are hot spots, Tri-Cities and Lewiston, and a little bit of a dip from what we saw yesterday, and we'll see even more of a dip tomorrow. But then as we get to Sunday, we're going to ascend quite quickly. Speaking of which, 77 tomorrow, Spear to 76 for your Friday, and then look at all of this sunshine we're going to see for your weekend with that Hoop Fest, 87 Sunday, and more sunshine as we get into the beginning part of our next work week. And again, that is 4th of July week on not this Friday, but next Friday. It is going to be dry. We're hoping that there's no winds to amp up the fire danger. But folks, if you are looking for summer-like conditions, heat and sunshine, you're in luck starting Saturday.
Ooh-wee, yeah, next week looking hot. All right, in just a few minutes from now, the first round of the NBA draft begins right here on ABC.
And there are a few local players that will likely make the jump to the NBA, but probably only one that will hear his name called tonight.
And that's most likely going to be Cedric Coward from Washington State. He's expected to get drafted in this first round tonight, and if he does, it'll be the first time a former Coug is going to go in the first round in 14 years. He did spend a short time with Washington State, but most of his college career with head coach David Riley. Coward played at Eastern Washington before WSU, but even before all that, his college career began at the Division III level. And even though Coward was forced to redshirt last year because of an injury, he showed out at the NBA Combine and is now looking like he could be a top 20 pick.
Someone like Cedric, I think he's so adaptable that he's gonna find a way to make any place a good fit. He kind of approaches everything the same, whether he lost the last game, he won the last game, he had 30, or he had 30 put on him. He's gonna have the same approach, and I think that's what's really cool, just to see him stay the same person throughout this process.
Riley says he's been checking in on Cedric throughout the entire draft process, excited to see him have his big moment. He's even joined there with Cedric and assistant coach Pedro Garcia Rosado in New York. There's Cedric and former Coug, of course, Jalen Wells out there. And Cedric, right in the center there on his left, is the projected #1 draft pick from Duke, Cooper Flagg. So lots of talent out there on that stage in New York. We're excited to see it get going here in just a few minutes.
You know what I noticed from that picture? Like, a lot of times in the NBA draft, you see these crazy, like, brightly colored suits or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's like
little muted.
Black, black and navy. There. Like,
Cedric did have a massive CC chain, so it's the subtle drip.
We'll be right back after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
For 30 years, Renewal by Andersen has replaced worn-out and difficult-to-use windows and doors, improving not just the windows, but the entire home improvement process. Our focus on quality and performance has helped us install over 10 million windows. We've led the way since the beginning, and we keep raising the bar. Our windows and doors are custom-built using our exclusive Fibrex material, designed for beauty, performance, and lasting durability. They're installed by certified master installers and backed by the nation's best warranty. Join our 30th anniversary celebration and save. Renewal by Andersen is your best choice for window and door replacements. Call now for big savings during our 30th anniversary sales event. It's our biggest event of the year, with exclusive savings on our most energy-efficient windows and doors. Hurry, offer ends soon. Renewal by Andersen. 30 years of craft, care, and gratitude.
It's the biggest trade-in event in America today through July 7th at Cal.
This is your chance to trade in anything, and I mean anything.
So you can upgrade to a better set of wheels by trading in the old for something better at Cal.
What's for lunch this summer? For kids who rely on school meal programs, the answer is not enough. Donate to the What's for Lunch food drive at Yolks locations throughout June to make sure all our kids get enough to eat this summer.
This is the Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattress, and it's designed to help you feel cool. So no more sweating all night, no kicking off the covers or blasting the air conditioning, because only the Tempur-Pedic Breeze is made with our one-of-a-kind cooling technology that pulls heat away from your body, so the mattress feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long.
And for a limited time, save up to $500 on select adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 gift. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
A penny saved is a lifetime earned. Numerica Credit Union. Money where it matters.
Welcome back on this Wednesday evening. Well, we are looking at less wind already for Spokane. Expect those winds to continue to dwindle as we move on into the evening hours. Speaking of your evening, partly cloudy skies. Going to be very nice. Overnight lows are going to be in the upper 50s. Should be beautiful. The heat starts, though, this weekend.
Yes, sir.
We just found out that brackets may be up for Hoop Fest.
Oh, fun.
Download that app if you haven't already and check out when and where your team is playing. All right, the NBA draft is coming up right next.
And hopefully we'll see you afterward for another special edition of 4 News Now. Usually 8:30-ish. Somewhere around there.
Just depends on how long it's going to take. Well, again, we'll keep you posted. Sydney will on when Cedric Coward gets drafted by who.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.